Welcome back to today's session, kids. This is Hershey, your SST educator. Today I am back with the chapter number 12, which is Forest of India, of your course book, Time Travelers Knowledge Series by Amit Publishing House. So get ready and have a glance of these two pictures. Here you'll find the pictures of two different forests. You need to find out this picture belong to which forest and differentiate between these two. Right? We will do this exercise after the explanation of chapter, because in this chapter we are going to cover the different kinds of forest, and this will be easy for you to differentiate afterwards, right? So let's begin with the chapter, kids. Forest is a natural resource, large area of land where trees and plants grow close to one another are called forest. Natural resource, all you know, what does it mean? It means it is gifted by nature. It is not made by man, right? So large land area which is covered by plants or trees, different types of plants, trees we have learned in the earlier sessions, right? Different types of plants, trees. So they grow here and very close to each other, right? So this is called a forest. Alright kids, have you understood what is forest? It is the land area where plants and trees grow close to each other are called forest. Means jungle. इसमें plants और trees बहुत closely grow होते हैं, right? They are called the lungs of the earth. Lungs of the earth means, this is well said, lungs of the earth, because the plants are lungs of the earth and plant breathe, so we breathe. Plants take in carbon dioxide and releases what? Very good, it releases oxygen, and we take in oxygen and releases carbon dioxide. So plants are the lungs of the earth, and our lungs work because of these plants, right? Forests cover about 22% of the total land area in India. Total land area of India, 22% out of this area, 22% is covered by forest, right? So let's start with importance of forest. Why the forests are important for us? Forests play a very important role in our life. Forests are very vital for us, kids. Forest provides us what they provide us. Let's see why they are important. Because we get fruits. We all know we get vegetables, pulses, cereals, tea, coffee, right? We also get medicines that obtained from different parts of the plants. Pharmaceutical companies, in an industry chapter we have learned what is pharmaceutical. The medical companies that are making drugs and medicines for us, they use the different parts of the plant to make different medicines and trees. Fodder for animals. Now what does it fodder? As you know that animals graze in the grass, that is the green fodder. But fodder is, that is a green grass they are grazing in the field, right? So fodder is food for animals, but that is dry fruit, right? Like straws, hay, right? So this is called fodder for animals. Food for cooking, as we have discussed. Timber. Now what does it timber? Timber means wood. Timber for building houses, furnitures, right? Making matchsticks and paper is also being made with the wood pulp. So we get so many things from the forest. Forest improve the quality of soil. Yes, it is good for soil too. It holds the soil so that quality, the soil remains very nutritive, or remains, soil erosion will not happen, right? And also promote rainfall. They provide shelter to many birds and animals. We all know that our plants are the home of many birds and animals. So plants are useful in so many ways. Plants, trees, so forests are again beneficial for us. Now we will discuss about types of forest. India has wide variety of flora and fauna. Now what is flora and fauna? Flora means plant life and fauna means animal life. So India has wide variety, means different type of species are there, different kinds of plants and trees, different kinds of animals. So it is, India is having lot of many kinds of flora and fauna, but has a very limited area of land under forest. Forests in India are mainly of following type. 5 different kinds of forests we will learn in this chapter, right? First is evergreen forest. Evergreen, as name refers, these trees never shed their leaf, right? These forests also called tropical rain forest, right? The other name of evergreen forest is tropical rain forest. Trees in these forests do not shed their leaves and remain green throughout the year, right? Never shed, these trees never shed their leaves, right? And remain green throughout the year. And how these kinds of trees are? These are tall hardwood trees such as ebony, rosewood and mahogany. These are kinds of, these trees grow in the evergreen forest and they never shed their leaves, right? And we call them tropical rain forests. Are found in these forests. These dense forests, dense means you would not get space or light. Sunlight is also not entering in this forest because the trees that have grown are very close to each other, right? So this is called dense forest. These dense forests are found in the area that receive heavy rainfall like slopes of Western Ghats. We have learned the Eastern and Western Ghats. So these kinds of trees kids grow in the Western Ghats and Northeast India and the island like Andaman and Nicobar. These types of, quickly revise this one more time, evergreen forest, we also call them tropical forest, right? Trees in these forests never shed their leaves throughout the year, right? Examples of this kind of forest, the trees that grow there are ebony, rosewood and mahogany, right? And these forests are very dense, and where it grows, you'll find these kinds of forests in the Western Ghats and eastern areas, eastern northeast area, and also in the Andaman and Nicobar Island, right? So have you understood what are evergreen forests, right, kids? So let's move to the first page, which was the get ready exercise. So this is the picture of evergreen forest. Now you can identify it. These are dense forests, right? These type of trees never shed their leaves throughout the year, and you'll find these forests where Andaman and Nicobar Island, Western Ghat and Northeast in India, right? Okay, and ebony, rosewood and mahogany are some examples. And the other name of this type of forest is tropical forest, right? Have you understood? Good. So let's move to the next one. Next is deciduous forest. Deciduous forest means these forests are also called monsoon forests. Like in the last one, we learned that it is the evergreen forests are also called tropical forest, right? So the next is deciduous forest. These are also called monsoon forests. Trees in these forests shed their leaves in the dry season. Yes, right? In the dry season, trees shed their leaves. Example, teak, sal, sandalwood and mahua are found in these areas. These trees are found on the wetter parts of where it founds Deccan Plateau and the states like Andhra, Odisha, Bihar and foothills of Himalayas. We have covered the ranges of Himalayas, right? Foothills of Himalayas are also called Shivalik Range. Have you remembered this? Very good. The greater Himalayas, the lesser Himalayas and the foothills, that is Shivalik Range. So you'll find these deciduous forests in the foothills of Himalayas, right? And what kind of trees grow there? Teak, sal, sandalwood and mahua, and they shed their leaves in dry season, right? And these forests are also called monsoon forests, and you'll find these forests in the Shivalik ranges, or you'll find the foothills of Himalaya, right? So these trees are found where the Deccan Plateau, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Bihar and foothills of Himalayas, right? So next is thorn forest. Now what is thorn forest? These forest trees have long roots. Thorn forest, as you can understand with the name thorn, right? These trees grow where the scarcity of water. So leaves turn into the thorns to reduce the evaporation of water, right? So these forest trees have long roots. Why these kind of trees have long roots? The long root reaches to the groundwater, right? So that is why these type of plants and trees have long root deep into the soil. A thick bark. Now, what is bark? You know the stem, right? So trees, it is called trunk. So the upper layer, which is brown skin of the trunk, you can say it is bark. It is brown in color. So a thick bark, sharp thorns and small leaves. I told you that these plants or trees have thorns to reduce the evaporation of the water, so that water can be conserved, and small leaves, they can survive without or with very little of water for long period of time. So it happens because of these thorns and because of the deep roots of the plants, right? So example of these kinds of forest is the trees that grow in the thorn forest are babool, kikar and date palm are found in these forests. These forests are found in Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. Rajasthan, you all remember the cactus, the babool and kikar that grows there because there is a scarcity of water. That is why the leaves change into the thorns. And one more benefit of these thorns, what does it? So the plants save them from being eaten by animals, right? So that's for the thorn forest. Have you understood, kids? Shall we move to the next one? Good. So next is mountain forest, right? In the mountain forest, these forests are also called coniferous forest. Another name of the mountain forest is coniferous forest. Now, what is it? Coniferous means in the conical shape, right? We have studied in the different types of trees. These trees are conical in shape, right? So these forests are also called coniferous forests. In these forests, trees are tall. They are not wider. They are tall and in the cone shape with needle-like leaves. Why they have needle-like leaves? Do you remember that chapter? They have needle-like leaves so that rain and snow can slip off easily and it will not harm the tree, right? Because of this, they have the needle shape, the in cone shape, and they are long, not wider. That is why we call these type of forest, mountain forest, what we call them? We call them coniferous forest too, right? So trees are long and cone shaped with needle-like leaves. The snow-covered peaks do not have vegetation. Now, again, the Himalaya ranges, the part of it. So the first one is the Greater Himalaya that is covered with snow throughout the year, right? You remember that? So this range do not have any vegetation because it is covered with snow, right? On coming down, small shrubs are seen, right? Means the lesser Himalayas now we are coming down towards. So the middle one or the down to the greater Himalayas, it is lesser Himalaya and here are only shrubs. You will find some shrubs there, right? And on moving further down, coniferous trees like fir, spruce and pine are seen now on the Shivalik range, right? Or the foothills. Now the third one is Shivalik. So you will find these type of forests there. And that is why we call them coniferous trees. And examples are fir, spruce and pine. These forests are found in Himalaya region and part of Nilgiri Hills. Do you remember the Nilgiri Hills states? It is Nilgiri Hills where Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats meet, right? So, in the Himalayas or Nilgiri Hills, you'll find these type of forests, right? So, we call them mountain forest or coniferous forest. Now, move to the first picture. Get ready, right? Now, you will identify this. This is the mountainous forest, right? So here you can see the trees or plants are not wider, they are narrow, but they are tall and in the cone shape too and needle-like leaves they have, right? So that rainwater or snow can easily slip off from the leaves, alright? Now next type of forest is mangrove forest. Mangrove forest, these forests are also known as tidal forest, right? The mangrove forests are also known as tidal forest. These forests are found in delta. Do you know the delta? The Ganga and Brahmaputra delta. This is world's largest delta, right kids? So these forests are found in the delta of major rivers. In these forests, trees have hardwood and special roots that grow upward. Yes, you all know that the underground part, the part which is inside the soil, and that is called root, but it is reversed in the case of mangroves forest. The roots of the plant grows upward. And why it happens, kids? Because this mangrove area, you'll say, the soil is very clayey, so plants don't get air there. So to get the air, the roots comes out, right? Hardwood and special root that grow above the ground. These forests are dense again. In these forests, Sundari is common tree, and that is why it is called Sundarbans. Sundari trees grow here, so this delta is called the Sundarban. The delta that is made with the Ganga and Brahmaputra, right, kids? So Sundari trees grow here in Sundarban. So this kind of forest is called mangrove forest, and another name is tidal forest. And the speciality of this forest is that the roots of these kind of trees comes out or in upward direction. This happens because they need air. They need air to grow, and that is why the roots grow in upward direction. Have you understood, kids? Any doubt? Very good. So let's move to the next topic, and that is conservation of forest. We have learned the so many importance that why the plants and trees are important for us, for all the living beings, and for the earth too. So we need to conserve them. So conservation of the forest is another topic. Let's see how we'll do it. The forests of our country are under threat because trees are being cutting down in large numbers, right? So if we are cutting the trees, so cutting of trees is called what? It is called deforestation. Means trees are cutting down to fulfill our needs. Like we are making industries, factories, the new colonies are being established, right? We are making roads to fulfill our needs. We are cutting down the trees. So this is called deforestation. It is necessary that we conserve our forests, which are useful for us in many ways. The practice of planting tree in an area which is called afforestation, right? Have you understood what is deforestation and what is afforestation, kids? Deforestation means cutting down the trees, and afforestation means to again planting more and more trees. And the practice of planting trees on a deforested area land is called reforestation. Now this is the third term, reforestation, which means an area which is already deforested, means plants and trees already have been cut down, but now we are growing new trees there. So this is called reforestation. Now we have learned the three terms, which is deforestation, afforestation, and what is next? It is reforestation. Have you understood clearly? Very good. So we should stop deforestation and we should plant more and more trees so that we can save our Mother Earth. The Chipko movement, which is very well known movement, Chipko movement was started by Sundarlal Bahuguna, Chandi Prasad Bhatt, and Gaura Devi in 1974. It is very important to learn, kids. You should remember this, and this question can be asked in further classes too, in higher classes. Chipko movement, it was started in 1974 by Sundarlal Bahuguna, Gaura Devi and Chandi Prasad Bhatt. Now, what is this Chipko movement? The villagers on the hills of Uttarakhand hugged trees to stop woodcutters from chopping them down. You can see the villagers, they have hugged the tree so that woodcutters cannot chop this tree, right? So that is why it is called Chipko movement. Now you can understand with this picture, and it was started in 1974 in the Uttarakhand state by Sundarlal Bahuguna, Gaura Devi and Chandi Prasad Bhatt, right? Now, wildlife and its protection. Forests provide home and shelter to number of animals, birds, right? And other creatures. Today, wildlife in India is under danger or several threats. Why is it so? Because of the deforestation or cutting down the trees, overuse of forest resources, and hunting. Animals are being hunted by the killers, right? Animals are being hunted and killed by humans for their skin, fur, horn, and tusks, right? So, that is why the wildlife is in danger, because forests are not there, so the animals won't get space to hide. That is why they are coming out from the forest, and because of the deforestation, and hunters kill the animals and they sell their skin, their fur, their horns and their tusks in the market. Our national park and wildlife sanctuaries. Now, government has taken certain steps to save our wildlife, right? So they have established the wildlife sanctuaries and the national park to protect the animals, right? In order to protect wildlife, the government has set up a number of national parks and wildlife sanctuaries. Jim Corbett. Now you need to remember the name of the national park, also where they are located, in which state they are located. Now remember, repeat this: Jim Corbett National Park. It is in Uttarakhand. Alright, Jim Corbett National Park. It is a part of Uttarakhand. Now Kanha National Park. It is in Madhya Pradesh. Gir Wildlife Sanctuary in the Gujarat. Sundarbans. We have just learned the Sundarban Delta, right? Sundarban mangroves forest. So Sundarban in West Bengal, Periyar in Kerala, Kaziranga and Manas National Park in Assam, Sariska and Ranthambore National Park and Keoladio National Park. Earlier, the name of Keoladio National Park was Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary. Earlier, it was known the Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary. So these are in state of Rajasthan, are some famous examples of this. Many animals such as Asiatic lions, Bengal tigers, snow leopards, wild asses, elephant, rhinoceros, and nilgai and chikara are protected in these places from being hunted and killed by the hunters. So these are some examples of wildlife sanctuaries, right? And the national parks that has been set up by the government to protect our animals. You need to remember the name of the national park as well as the location where it is situated. Right, kids? Now, Gir National Park. And where it is, Gir National Park? It is in Gujarat. So it is famous for Asiatic lions. Now Kaziranga National Park, it is famous for single horn or one horns rhinoceros. The third is Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary is famous for spoonbill storks, right? This is the bird sanctuary. It is in Rajasthan, right, kids? So that's all for this chapter, kids. Time to revise what we have learned. Forest is a large area covered with tree and inhabited by birds and wild animals. This is called forest. Different types of forest in India are evergreen forest, deciduous forest, thorn forest, mountain forest and mangrove forest. Trees and plants and forest gives us many things that we require for our daily needs. Forests in India are home of a number of species of plants, animals and birds. Animals are being hunted and killed by hunters for their skin, for their tusk, for their fur and for their horns, right? Now, Keoladeo National Park is famous for what? Spoonbill storks, right? So it's time for question answers, kids. Describe the deciduous forest of India. What are mangrove forests, also known as, and where they are found? How are forests useful for us, for humans? What are the initiatives taken by the Forest and Wildlife Conservation of India? Name at least five wildlife sanctuaries and national park of India. Also mention the state where they are located. So kids, we have already done these questions while explanation of the chapter, right? I would appreciate if you do as your homework. So please do on your own. Hope you have enjoyed the session and now you are aware the different kinds of forests and are found in India. Kids, I will catch you in the next class of SST. Till then, stay excited for clamp of another videos. Bye, kids.